Hello everyone, this is Karen from drkarenesli.com, and today I'm going to make Korean bulgogi using frozen ground beef from my latest book, No Thaw Paleo Cooking in Your Instant Pot. Now most of us remember to take out the meats, but for some of us who forget to take out the meat from the freezer, I'm going to be showing you how to use the frozen ground beef using the Instant Pot. So let's get cooking. I already took the frozen ground beef out of the package. This is about a pound. I ran it under the water, cleaned the blood on the outside and all the ice that formed, and I'm going to leave it out until I am ready to cook. This is the marinade that I already made a little while ago, and it has soy sauce, molasses, garlic, ginger, and a little bit of water. You can taste it and then see if it's really salty to your liking. Then you can add a little bit of water. If not, then water is not necessary. You have to have at least half a cup of the sauce for the Instant Pot to go to pressure. You can make double the recipe and save for later, but for now we're going to use just this amount for this recipe. Okay, so now that marinade is already done, I'm going to cut carrots and onions and scallions. And you don't really need fancy gadgets or appliances. You just need a sharp knife. Okay, first what I do is I cut the carrot in a manageable lengths, right? And then I cut a little slice on the side, like so, because you don't want a carrot that's rocking back and forth. You see how it's stable now? Then what I do is I cut, this is about 1/8 of an inch. We don't want too big, too small, but we have about 1/8 of an inch, like so, slices, right? Same thing with this piece. It's stable, it's not rocking like this. Then I cut little slices, like so. Same thing with this one. Now, if you're confident, you can make the lengths a little bit longer, but I just want to show you that you don't have to get too arrogant, too confident, because that's when you make a mistake and cut your finger. Also, it's obviously very important that you have a sharp knife. Then I cut into this width for each piece. This is about a medium to small maybe length of a carrot. So this will yield less than a half cup, but now you have manageable size. Turn it around and then you can cut little dices. You see? I'm doing slow, but I mean, obviously if you know how to cut, you can do much faster. And then you can kind of see which one you can manage. Ta-da! Now we have diced carrots without cutting yourself. Okay, so we need a half a cup of diced carrots, which I already cut, and I'm gonna use that on the side. But I just wanted to show you how to cut this really easily. Okay, that's one. Now onions. Now I'm sure you've seen chefs cut onion in a fancy way where you cut from the side like this, couple of slits like this. Personally, I don't really like that method because I don't feel like I'm really stable when I'm holding the onion. But look, you see these layers? This is already layered already. You know, Mother Nature already gave us those kind of cuts already. So what I do is I just slice each onion across this way. And then you already have basically already pre-cut pieces like this, right? So all you need to do is go and cut across this way while you're turning the onion with your other hand. And sure, you may have, you see? It's already cut, it's already diced. You may have like a few pieces that are a little long, then you just give a little chop, and then you already have diced onions. You don't have to go through that trouble of cutting across. That I find a little bit dangerous if you're not really used to it. Again, the other piece. As you turn the onion. Ta-da! Now you have diced onions. See how easy that was? Okay, so I need about a half a cup, and this is about a half a cup, I think. But once again, I already have it done, so I'll be using that. But I just wanted to show you how to cut this, cut the onion and the carrots really easily. Now this is my scallions. I need about, it's really for garnish, but I need about two scallions, not finely, but you know, decent size. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the whites off, the ones with the roots, and I'm actually gonna grow them. I have a whole bunch in my garden now, but you put them in water, and then this jar is a little bit too tall, but you put them in water and that's it. I added a little bit of crushed eggshells in the bottom for extra nutrients, but anyway, so I'm gonna put this aside. Now I'm gonna chop the onions. The way I cut scallions, I get enough so that I can grab all the scallions between my pinky and my thumb, and then I put my middle finger next to the knife and then just go back. This is a good size scallions to use for this recipe. Not too fine, and I think we're good to go. Okay. Okay, I plugged in the Instant Pot, and then I'm going to put it on saute. Make sure it says more, because that means it's the hottest temperature setting under saute. Okay, and then wait until it's really hot. You can kind of feel it with your hand in there, and it takes a few minutes. So just be patient. You don't want to put the meat in prematurely. You want to make it sizzle when you put the meat inside. That's the sound that you want, and you let it sizzle and brown, and don't move it. And you can tell that outside starts to defrost. Some parts might get brown, but don't worry about it. Just let it do its thing. By the way, you don't need any water or oil, because there's plenty of oil in the ground beef. So you just let the natural oil melt and cook the meat. Okay. Now, since the other side is brown, I'm just gonna let it cook, and then I'm going to add my vegetables, which is half cup of onions, diced onions, and then half cup of carrots, and just the way you saute onions, you just want to use the natural oil from the meat to kind of saute the onions a little bit. It really brings out the flavors more this way than just cooking the whole thing all at once. Now, the reason why this recipe is so popular in my family is because it is quick, it is inexpensive. In fact, my daughter used to cook this in college all the time because it's so easy. And ground beef is cheap. This is actually ground beef from my local farm that I go to. And it's perfect for something like this. Now, you can add a little bit of salt just to soften the onion a little bit. Not too much, because you're going to be using the soy sauce marinade. but you want to get a little bit of salt in there to get the flavors marry up a little bit better. Okay, I think the onions are a little bit softer than before. I think we're good to go. It's still kind of solid, right? So don't worry about it. It will all get cooked nicely. This is the marinade. Like I said, you need at least half a cup of liquid for Instant Pot to go to pressure. You will have a little bit more liquid from the onions and the carrots and the meat. So you'll end up with you'll end up with more than a half a cup, but you definitely need at least about a half a cup of the marinade. Okay. Now you want to mix the mixture, the ginger and the garlic, the sesame oil. Oh, it smells good already. It smells like it's already done, but it's not. As you can tell, it's still frozen. Okay, now, this is the trick I use for cooking the rice at the same time. Now, if you're cooking more, now you can double the recipe and cook 2 pounds of ground beef, but this is just 1 pound, and it'll feed 4 people, trust me. What I'm doing is I'm putting the trivet that comes with the Instant Pot on top, and then I'm going to be adding the rice that has been soaking. Now, if you look closely, you can see that the rice grains are totally white. Right? It's totally opaque. That means it's been soaking, it absorbed a lot of the water. That's why you don't really need that much water to cook the rice at this point. You see, there's very little water, right? Because rice already soaked up the water. Okay, so rice is in there. I'm going to close, put the valve on sealing. And then, remember, it's still on saute, so you're gonna press cancel. You don't want that function. You want the pressure cooker function. So you wanna push pressure cooker and then increase the time to 15 minutes. And pressure level is gonna be high. Now, this is Instant Pot Duo Plus. Your machine might be a little bit different, but the important part is that the pressure has to be high and you want 15 minutes of pressure. Okay, now it's good to go. I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so now 15 minutes is done, and now it's going to naturally release the pressure. So you want to let the machine do its thing, don't touch anything, and what you want to see is the pin on top of the lid drop down so that no pressure will be left and you're able to open the lid. So we're just going to wait until the pin drops down. Okay, so the pin dropped. That means there's no more pressure left and I can open the lid. And now here's the big reveal. Yay, the rice is done at the same time. So this is a great meal to cook. Look how beautiful that rice looks. Okay, so that rice is done. I'm gonna put it aside. And I know this doesn't look that pretty, but trust me, it will taste great. So I take out the trivet. One thing I need to do is I'm going to put it on saute again because I want to cook whatever is not 100% cooked on saute, which I think it is cooked, as you can tell. But I want to break up the meat. You can also do this on the cutting board. You can take out that big piece and then chop it up, much finer than this, but this is, in my opinion, just as good. So It's important to have a sharp spatula, obviously. But you can tell the carrots are nice and soft. Can't even see the onions, but oh, I wish you can smell the flavors. It smells so good. Now, you can also add vegetables at this point. Some of the vegetables I love to add are spinach. You can add bok choy if you like. Even napa cabbage is good. Any vegetable that's going to cook down quickly is a great addition. So whatever you have in the fridge, you want to clean out your vegetable drawer, this is a perfect way to use up your vegetables. So that's pretty much cut up, and I'm going to add the chopped up scallions, a couple of twists of black pepper, and sesame seeds. Always sesame. You can top this as a garnish if you like, but I like to kind of add while it's cooking. Isn't that pretty? So you want to cook down the liquid a little bit if you like, but the sauce goes really well over rice. So you don't want to get rid of the sauce that much, but you want to get the marinade inside the meat pieces that I just chopped up. So let it saute a little bit. I'm going to fluff the rice and put it in a bowl. Since this is a bulgogi over rice, to turn off the Instant Pot, since the beef is already done. Oh, the smell is so good. Get some meat on top of the rice, some sauce, and if you want extra scallions, you can add extra scallions, but I think this is perfect. I have a couple of taste testers here. I'm going to ask my daughter to test, since she used to make this a lot in college.
Bulgogi.
And there's Mia.
Is this made with frozen ground beef?
Yeah, it is. Hi, Mia. Say hello.
Wow, it tastes really good. I couldn't make this in a pan.
Not with frozen ground beef, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you enjoy this recipe, this video, and I hope you try making bulgogi in the Instant Pot. And happy cooking. Take care now.